Look, I love a funny video as much, and I'm happy to be the fool. I just don't want a flower girl to die when a barber has just taken something out. Hi, I am Alana Sam here from WHIZ Weddings and Alana Sam Marriage Celebrant Professional Party Starter. I am interviewing some of the top people in weddings, not only in Brisbane, but just people that you can have all over the place that are great at what they do. And today we're at the AVIdeas warehouse and we are with Greg and Chris from AVIdeas.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having us here today. I'm just so excited to be in this great space. So you guys have AVIdeas. It is a family business. It runs all over the place. You guys take care of staging, lighting and styling high-ry stuff. How long have you been doing that for?
As a business, for around 15 years.
Did you do it before you established?
Yes, we did it probably on a volunteer base and been part of stuff like producing musicals and conferences and things for probably at least 10 or 15 years before. So then when we decided to go into business, we came in with already this whole skill set and
Did you have
experience.
the inventory? Like when you were just doing favours and helping people out and volunteering, did you have a whole bunch of stuff like in your back shed that you were whipping out for some staging or lighting or something?
Yeah, or we hired it or used it. And so I guess Greg's come from an AV background too. So, we've had AV and, sound and projection.
I cut my teeth on doing video for weddings. But those days are long gone now.
So you were filming the videos for weddings?
That's correct. Yeah.
And we do that for friends. I think that's probably a lot of our date nights. We used to be sitting there while Greg was editing for like days.
Right.
So back in the good old days of editing.
All night, all night and day. Yeah, so come with that sort of experience, background, yes.
Yeah, so you got to speak to your friends and family before they got married, and then you would be there for the wedding and see how everything goes together. So you were kind of a guest, but you're also behind the scenes as well.
Yes.
Did you get to see a lot of things being done badly?
We are talking the 80s now, so define badly,
90s. I think the thing badly was that I guess we saw that there were so many, say, tricks of the trade, say from even, people go into like concerts and things, and it's all that sort of ambience and stuff that's been created that all of a sudden we went, well, there's no reason why we can't bring lights into weddings and change the atmosphere and do these whole things from a bigger room holistic thing.
Yes.
Rather than having all the fluoros in on an RSL, turn the lights off, do these things. And so we just tried to bring the mystical art of what everyone thought was this really, the tricks of the trade into the wedding industry.
Because people seem to have an opinion of weddings that it's all sort of magical and mystical, like you said, based on the Disney version or the TV version of a wedding. But the reality is, for a long time, I guess in Australia, it would be an RSL or a hall and it would just be the bare bones, and it was never as magical as what people had hoped for their day.
Yes.
But that's definitely something that you guys do now.
Yeah.
Like you bring that. And I've seen so many photos where you walk in going, oh, is this a celebrity wedding? Yeah. And it's just someone nice and normal and lovely.
And I think anyone can, and it's attainable for everybody. So it's about us going, well, it's not actually this great big, huge, tricky thing or even expensive thing. It's actually something that's doable.
And I think it's just having the thought to do it.
Yes.
It's just one of those considerations that maybe people didn't have before.
No.
And now they're like, oh, we could make this look pretty. And just because these are the chairs they have here doesn't mean that these are the chairs we have to use.
Yes. Yeah.
We could just throw a chair sash on it.
Yeah.
Just jazz it up a little bit.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
And so you dabbled in that stuff for a little while, and then what made you take the leap to start up as your own business?
It was an extension of, I guess you could say, in answer to your first question, about our whole life's been one production or another, whether it's been with the kids, the family, through sort of church involvement and activities, So everything we've always gone to take it to the next level, or how can we just make this a bit more exciting, or how do we make it look as though it belongs, or how is this like a theatre production, or you know, that's just been our whole life with everything we've done.
And I could imagine that you guys, if it was just a kid's birthday party or just your Christmas, you'd have it staged and looking just a little bit more schmick in your house than everyone else's.
We're just not content with mediocre. We think everybody just, just...
My kids think it's super normal to have like a theme and staging done for Christmas, and they go into other people's house and they're like, oh, that's the same as what you had last year. I think at the beginning stages of a wedding, I hear a lot of people say, oh, you know, I'm doing the flowers myself. I'm just going to decorate the church or the ceremony space or whatever. And, you know, if you're watching people get ready, there's always someone missing. And it's like, oh, this person isn't here for makeup yet because they're just decorating the arbor. That's a pain, isn't it?
It is, and I think, like, even though, you know, you talk through those things, it seems achievable in their head because they obviously don't do it regularly, that they know the time that it actually takes.
Yes.
And I know that we had a case the other day, and it was like, oh, such and such is doing the florals, and we said, okay. But then all of a sudden we got a phone call at 7 o'clock in the morning saying, the things aren't here, you know, my bridesmaids needs to do the florals so she can get her makeup done. We just said, well, the venue's actually not even open, for one. And, you know, like, it was just all those logistics that realised that it wasn't just about that.
Whereas we work to this call sheet or a run sheet, and we know how the pieces come together and at what stage in the game you're called up for duty.
The planning,
whereas if you're a bridal party or you're a friend, you're like, well, I have to get this done first.
Just
and
focusing
because
on
I'm going to be
one
dirty, so let's bang this arbor up as soon as possible, and then we can take care of the kids or be here or whatever, and the ceremony's fine. Look, there are exceptions of the rule. Sometimes people have a dad or an uncle or something who's like an amazing carpenter, and they've thought about it brilliantly, but usually they do it in consultation with a professional like yourself.
And often we'll say that. We'll say, does it have weights? We'll bring weights, blah, blah, blah. Have you thought about this? So we always are happy for people because they want to have that creative thing. That's how we got our
we
our
like
teeth
them.
in it.
We like them to have part of their expression.
Yes.
And if they've got family members, we just like to be able to talk to them and say, let's work this together.
Yeah,
you know, and we're more than happy to do that.
Because you've got to learn from those mistakes. You just don't want anyone to die.
No, especially if it's their love languages. I know for us, ours is always just contributing like that.
Yes.
And so, you know, for families, they want to. So it's just us then saying, okay, well, if this is the case, this is what we'd say. And in some cases, we may say no to things, because especially if we've got to hang things, because then whose insurance does that come underneath? You know, like if there is something that actually is a bit faulty.
Yes. And do you think people kind of, we touched on it for a moment there, after the ceremony and someone's done it up themselves and it's someone in the bridal party, they're off getting photos, aren't they?
They are.
You can't just leave that stuff in the middle of New Farm Park until you feel like coming back 3 days later.
No.
You need the professional to take care of that. And I hear a lot of the time people taking the furniture or the styling or something from a ceremony space and repurposing it for a reception.
Yes.
That's hard to do if you've got friends involved. That's really a job for someone else.
Yeah, and that's that is a service we always. You mentioned about event planning, paperworks, run sheets.
Yes.
They're all the things we talk through and discuss to make sure that those situations don't occur.
Yeah.
And if we can offer assistance, you know, here's the fee to be able to do the following, and then we'll take care of that for you. We can get it into the room. We can rebuild it if it needs to be rebuilt then into the size of that room.
Yes, if you can't get it into a door or something.
There's so many variables, or it's got to go upstairs because it's too big for the lift, etc. We've seen and done it all. So
typically, who does the run sheet? Who prepares that?
A lot of the time it's mostly, like if they've got a planner, the planner will do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brides that will often, or couples, you know, either.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just brides. We probably see at least 90% plus of males involved.
They're involved. It's
We
their
love
big
it,
shiny day too.
So either.
Yeah.
Or we talk them through. If they're in some great venues that you know, that have people involved, they'll often have a fairly detailed, like they'll have that sort of information.
Yeah.
We necessarily don't feel like we don't want to go down that path ourselves. We need to sort of just know what's going on. You know, we negotiate with the venues, with the about our ins and outs and work with the people that we're working in collaboration with. If it's florists or if there's furniture that needs to go in, we try to work out, you know, what time we'd prefer to get in earlier to do the installations before they bring furniture.
And so much stuff is very fluid, isn't it? You know, if it's February and it's stinking hot, you can't have installations go in first thing because it's convenient for that person. They're going to be dead.
It's
timing can be very critical, but also very challenging.
Yeah.
And we find a number of venues, it's convenient for them to set the tables with glassware, with polished everything.
Yeah.
And then we come in and we've got to do roof draping over the top of crystal candelabras. We've got to put fairy lights up, drag them through the middle of all the chairs, tables and everything else. So
So it makes
no
the
matter
process
how many
slower.
times we have the discussion, we still have those challenges that you've just got to make the room work within the time frame that you've got.
Because they're wanting to manage their staff while they've got the staff there.
Yes.
So, you know, even if we've asked. So sometimes, and then we arrive at times that, you know, we say we've got access and then we don't have access and, you know, so it's all, so it's just, so even though you have it, you think it's all black and white, it actually isn't.
So much. No. And so have you guys got some tips that you think people need to know when they contact you or when they're planning their wedding?
Yeah, I think the thing is if they've got some clear ideas, if they've got some photographs, helps.
Yeah.
Even they think, I don't really know what I want. Sometimes what they don't want actually helps them to point them in the direction of what they do like.
Yes.
So it's like a process of elimination sometimes. Yeah. So I guess photographs are great.
Yeah. Floor plans?
Floor plans is awesome.
Yeah.
Having a venue and a date really helps.
But not essential.
Not essential. That could be a fluid thing.
Yeah, but certainly if it's an installation that is needed, the venue will make a big difference, you know, whether or not, so, you know, that actually helps us to narrow down a lot quicker about what they really want.
Yeah. If someone was really stuck on a budget, what do you suggest for them to prioritise?
Fairy lights.
Fairy lights. You can do anything with
The
fairy lights.
sparkle, the look.
Everything's
but
better.
You know, it all depends on the room. That's not a hard and fast rule. There's so many different ways of looking at each one.
Yeah.
I always love when you're talking to couples just to find out what that one inspiration, that one look, that one colour, that one, whatever that moment is, and then you can build from that.
Yeah.
You know,
and we could even make suggestions about how you can achieve that maybe in a more of a, you know, cost-cutting way.
Yes.
I think everybody has their thing that they want to push their money to.
Yes.
Some people it's their dress. Some people it's, you know, the cars.
Yeah.
You know, it's something. So it's about, you know, still getting the look that they want, and we can often give them suggestions about.
And it's not one is worth more than the other, or one's more important than another. It's just what means something to them, which is really important.
Yeah. And with us, we always want to just ask those questions, because it's not about us at all.
Yeah.
It's about us. What is it that triggers them? What are the things that's, you know, that's going to make it their day?
In saying that, what are the things that you need to educate people about, trends and such that are done that you won't do, that you can't do again, that if you see one more time, you're going to want to kill yourself?
Probably burlap.
Yes.
And collecting your own jars to put
that's done.
Baby's breath in, that you think is a cheaper option, but it is
It's
not.
not.
It's not, is it? No. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And
you can still get that country sort of rustic vibe, but in lots of other ways.
yes.
Yeah. So it's like, well, if that's the style you like.
Because not all farms had Hessian sacks, did they?
No.
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 So you can do that. And if you had someone who was coming to you that really wanted to impress, they really wanted to splurge, what are some of the things that you think are game changers that they need to consider?
Certainly hanging installations are very on trend right now. And we've had clients come to us with this dream, that's all they've ever dreamed of in their life, of how do I hang a ceiling of roses? You know, and we've partnered with them, we've come up with solutions, we've involved their families in the preparation of the product. And we've been able to deliver, you know, those amazing looks for them.
I've seen you do that. I've seen a ceiling just completely covered in a tent in a home wedding, and the smell just hit you. It was incredible. What happens after the wedding with this stuff?
Well,
Mondays.
I guess
we love Mondays.
I guess the thing is that is a huge conversation with people, because, you know, even though we're responsible for hanging it up, those flowers are not ours. And so, you know, sometimes we're put in a predicament that people will be saying, oh, can I have this? Well, it's not our decision. So, you know, it'll be a conversation with the florist, you know, what's happening with these flowers, with the family. Sometimes they want them, sometimes they don't. Sometimes we get asked to, you know, drop them off at old people's homes. Well, we'll take them down and then somebody else
someone else can do that.
Someone else can do that. Oh, we love them being repurposed.
Yes.
But other than that, once all that's done, and if they're not being allocated to all of those people, they come back to our factory.
Because there isn't just a charity there that will take your unwanted flowers. It's not like...
or the actual hours that it takes to actually disassemble it, because often the florists don't come back and do it either. So that's part that becomes on us to do. So we bring it back here, and the boys have to undo it all, which often is hours of work, and then we need to
those cable ties and those bendy twisty things, they seem like a great idea at the time.
In the ute, to the dump, in the bin.
So generally no one else comes
required.
back, it's us and florals.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you so much, guys, for this chat. We're going to be chatting to you about a few other things later on. I've got so many questions here that we're going to have to save for another time. But you guys, it's amazing, and it's so nice to see a family business with, you know, a married couple working in businesses together every day. But you got your kids and you got the dogs and all that kind of stuff, and you do great work. And you're very supportive of people coming into the industry or established in the industry. You've been so kind to me. And it's just so amazing. And so if anyone wants to chat to Greg or Chris about designing something for their wedding or staging, or wants to bounce an idea and see if it is possible to hang a human mermaid with lights hanging off them with a water feature in the middle of a marquee in winter, you can give them a call, send them an email, check out their website, check out their Insta, all that kind of jazz. Thank you so much.
Thank you.